Hello everyone. Good morning. Good night. Well, it's time. It's time to revisit another episode of my Chess Killer Tips podcast that have been recorded from July 2007 to August 2009. There were 64 of those episodes. 63 plus episode 000. But we'll count them as 64. And today we're gonna listen and discuss in more details episode number 8. So here it goes.
Welcome to Chess Killer Tips, brought to you by ChessQueen.com. Here's your host, Alexandra Kosteniuk.
This position is taken from the Book of Stama of 1737. White plays and wins. Try to see the variation to the end. You can press pause now and think about it for a moment. I'll be back at the end of the music. I'm back. This position is a nice example of a smothered mate. White wins after playing Rook e8 check. Black has two possibilities. The first one is Bishop d8. White wins after Rook takes d8 check, Rook takes d8, Knight c7 check, King b8, Knight a6 check, King a8, Queen b8 check, Rook takes b8, Knight c7 checkmate. If on the first move Black plays Rook d8, then White wins after playing Knight c7 check, King b8, Knight a6 check, King a8, and here's the same combination, Queen b8 check, Rook takes b8, and two checkmates possible, Rook takes b8 or Knight c7. You'd be surprised, but this mate is often found in tournament practice, so look out for it.
Thanks for watching the Chess Killer Tips podcast. Send your questions and comments to Alexandra at Kosteniuk.com.
Indeed, guys, tell your friends about that. Okay, that's it. It was quite a short one and an easy podcast, and the main our topic, the theme of today's stream and the podcast number 8 is Smothered Checkmate. And actually, it's funny because I just did a video, a short video, so-called shorts, less than a minute, about Smothered Checkmate in Russian. So if you know Russian, I'm suggesting you to visit this podcast, this website, this YouTube channel, and watch this video. We are going to watch it anyway because there are two more positions that are being discussed over there. But however, I'll just switch off the sound, and here we go. That's a video on Smothered Checkmate. It's less than a minute. It's in Russian and starting with the Lucena position that we're going to discuss. So Queen e6 check, forcing the Black king into the corner, then Knight f7, and a very famous combination, checkmating pattern that one should know, because it might help one day to checkmate very nicely your opponent and not to get checkmated yourself, which is thank you so much for subscribing for 2 months, Johnny Elias. Okay, and another position is from actually a practical game, Timon Short 1990, where Jan Timon was able to checkmate Nigel Short, also using the same combination. the checkmate combination. And now we'll get to the chessboard and we'll discuss in more details on the chessboard this tactical idea, this tactical pattern that, as I already mentioned, might be quite useful. And of course, we are going to to look at some very nice ideas, very nice studies that I always like to demonstrate the main theme of the podcast that we're discussing. Okay, here we go. It's a study of stamma that has been discussed in this Chess Killer Tips episode. It's not the easiest Philippe Stamma, not the easiest smothered checkmate example possible, but anyway, let's check it once again. Since knight to c7 doesn't work immediately because of rook takes c7, we shall not forget that black is about to checkmate white's king as well. Rook e8 check first needs to be included. And here, well, if the rook goes to d8, then the c7 square is not protected anymore. And we can give this smothered checkmate or just quite a regular checkmate. Well, it also can be called smothered, I believe. If bishop goes to d8, it doesn't change a lot because, well, rook takes d8. One sacrifice needs to be included, thus deflecting the rook from protecting the square on c7. And here we go, the already familiar checkmating pattern with smothered checkmate. Okay, let's carry on. Another position that I discussed in my video, in my short video, it's a study of Lucena, and that's quite easy. No extra sacrifices are required, and Luis Ramirez de Lucena was a Spanish player of 16th century and 15th, 16th. He lived just at this time. He was also he is considered to be the author of the oldest existing chess book, published in Salamanca in 1497. And this example is from this book. So smothered checkmate is quite a known checkmating pattern. White starts and checkmate black. And checkmates black, well, it's easy, just a check, another check, double check, and the problem that black's king needs to get to the corner, because after king f8, queen to f7, checkmate is possible. Yes, by the way, I should mention that knight to d8 is also enough to win the game. It's not a smothered checkmate pattern, but it's a back rank checkmating pattern, which is as powerful in this particular position as knight to h6. But of course, knight h6 is a more beautiful way to finish the game. Queen g8, queen sacrifice, and checkmate. Quite easy. Now let's discuss this practical game. And I can assure you that smothered checkmate does happen quite a lot in practice. It's a game between Jan Timman and Nigel Short. And, well, the game went e7, the move 25th. It was not a very successful attempt in this game to build the stone wall with black somehow it didn't work quite well, as we can see that the stone wall was destroyed and white pawn managed to get to e7. It's usually already quite a dangerous sign. And again, same pattern. Suddenly the knight and the queen start working together. Check, check, and checkmate. Quite easy, right? Quite easy, but nevertheless quite very beautiful. And now let's check some other examples, some other studies that have this idea of smothered checkmate as the main idea, or as the idea that helps white win the game. It's white to move. It's white to move. And what move would you propose? What move would you make if you were playing white? Queen on f7 is kind of blocking the knight from jumping to f7 and giving a check. The queen is not on e6 but on f7, and of course there is no time for some intermediate or waiting or improving moves, since white is about to be checkmated himself. So yes, we should always start when solving a chess position, when playing a chess game, we should always start with analyzing all possible checks. And here we go. Queen to g8. It's brilliant move. It's always quite impressive to see the move under when a piece goes under 2 attack or 3. Sometimes it happens, but well, here unfortunately for black, rook takes the g8 leads to a smothered checkmate, very known and familiar to us. And if the king goes, if the king takes the queen, then white continues the attack with f7. Then a very important check on a3, bishop a3, deflecting the rook from the 8th rank. And it's very important since white wants to promote the f pawn to a queen and give a checkmate. This time they're checkmating the black king in the center of the board. Beautiful anyway. Beautiful anyway. Let's carry on. And another study. They are going to get more difficult. And but the smothered checkmate pattern will be used one way or another. Well, this one is not that difficult, but it requires a few extra moves to make, and white to start and to win. That's a chess study by Del Rio. An Italian lawyer and author of the 18th century, Domenico Ercole del Rio, according to Wikipedia. Also, he was an author of chess book published in 1750, and he composed many chess problems, and this is the one of them. Well, no, I mean, this checkmate pattern is quite common, but I just decided to pick up some studies because studies show this idea like in the most beautiful way one can imagine, because usually there's some preliminary play required, and I mean, you rarely see moves such as queen to g8, as we just saw it on the 2 attack in the practical play. In practical games, in games that we usually play, that's more everything is less beautiful, let's put it this way. But it happens, maybe not that often. And another problem with practical games, that as soon as your opponent realizes he's going to get checkmated, he just resigns. And so it's not possible to show you this whole beauty till the very end. Not just kidding, of course, it's possible anyway. But here white needs to give a check. It's very important to give a check on e5, not on h2, for several reasons. Okay, check, king c8, again, is not possible because of checkmate. So the king is obliged to go to the corner, and that's the worst, often the worst place for the king to be. There's less space, not enough. Knight c7 check, king to b8, and here smothered checkmate immediately with knight a6 and queen b8 would not work because of this annoying pin. So we need to include one extra move. Check again. Knight takes the rook on e8 with a check. King c8 again. Black is getting checkmated on c7, and after king a8, knight c7 check, knight a6. Familiar to us already. Discovered double check, and queen sacrifice, and smothered checkmate. So quite an easy one, but nevertheless, again, very beautiful. And here we go next. The positions become a little bit more complicated with more preliminary moves required to checkmate black. Well, here this position is almost identical actually to the study of Del Rio we just discussed. Just a few more moves are needed from white, and which is e7 check. Yes, king goes to h8. Again, knight f7. Knight f7, I was thinking. Knight f7 actually it also works. I mean, I don't know what is the problem. Actually, it's not that beautiful. I shouldn't have checked it a little bit better, but e takes d8 queen, and that's a longer way to smother checkmate, but here it comes. But again, once again, knight to f7 is possible, perfectly possible. And well, white even wins like this, but probably e takes d8 is much stronger. And again, white can checkmate using the same pattern. Well, this study is not perfect, it's not ideal, so let's get to more complicated and more interesting positions. White to start. I'm not sure white can win here either. Let me check. White to start and play. Yes, apparently they can. That one is quite complicated. It's quite complicated, but it consists of many beautiful checkmating patterns. So how to continue? How to carry on? I mean, we can argue about how often this checkmate pattern, how common it is for practical games, but I think we can all agree that it's better to know this pattern. It can help you somehow in your practical game. So white to move, guys, and queen takes f7 is not the right move for you. I mean, when you watch all the studies and when you solve all these puzzles with queen sacrifices, you should understand that queen sacrifice, okay, it's beautiful, but it's quite a rare thing. And if you do sacrifice your queen, and you need to foresee, I mean, you need to understand why you're giving away your strongest and the most powerful piece. So queen takes f7. Well, guys, it's not a guess game. It's not a guess game. I understand that there are not so many checks possible. So if you just will say queen to f7, it doesn't work. Okay, knight to e7, it doesn't work. You should ask yourself what's next. Well, okay, it's not so difficult to calculate the ladder, right? Right? After knight e7, there is only one move possible for black, which is king h8. What is your idea? to give a check here. Okay, I'll take, and then after queen takes f7, well, you might make a draw, but it's not so obvious, it's not so clear. So before suggesting a move, try to calculate, try to understand the idea. And if you say knight to h6, it's also not possible, because well, you're giving the knight away, right? So let us know what's gonna happen after g takes h6. There are three moves, there are three checks possible in this position, and of course we should consider all of them. But again, if you're giving away the knight, at least mention the next move for white. So and you see, you're saying queen takes h6, it's not right. Unfortunately, you're losing after this move, because you give away too much, and black's queen is just in time to protect the actually to give checkmate to your king. Here we go. So no, I mean, yes to knight h6, but no to queen takes h6. And meaning that it's not the right way to continue, but white do win here. They do give checkmate to black. And the only way to give a checkmate here and to win the game, knight to g4, is not enough again, because it lets black, well, yes, it lets black win the game by giving check on a5. So in order to win here, white needs to make a quiet move, which is of course very difficult to spot. But when you're playing knight to h6, this move, knight to h6, should be connected with this quiet move, and this is queen f6. It's the only move that wins here for white, and I think it's very, very beautiful. The idea behind this move, that rook takes e5, is not working anymore, because white simply takes the rook, and again, there are no checks, the third rank is covered, and queen to g7 is about to appear on the board. And one more beautiful checkmating pattern: if black tries to bring the queen, unfortunately it's not enough, it doesn't work because of this wonderful queen to h8, queen sacrifice. Actually, this move we've already discussed in one of the previous revisitation of this Chess Killer Tips episode, the sacrifice of the queen on h8, and that's another checkmating pattern, but very, very beautiful indeed. The bishop is guarding these two squares on the big diagonal, and the knight is attacking the king and the f7 square. Very beautiful. And how does white checkmate black after king h8? Well, that here comes the familiar to us checkmating pattern, which can actually start. White can checkmate black with several moves, but that's the easiest one, and checkmate. It's possible, however, to take with the queen, and there is nothing black can do in order to protect himself from being checkmated, because even if the queen comes, there are too many knights that can jump to f7. Okay, very nice position, quite a difficult one. Well, to be precise, very difficult one indeed. Queen to f6 is a very hard move to spot. It seems that you need to give checks to take to create threat. Well, this is creating a threat, but in a very beautiful manner. Okay. Well, this pattern we've already seen. it's not so exciting, but anyway, beautiful. In order to checkmate here, white needs to start with what? Knight to c7 doesn't work because of rook takes c7, and after queen takes c7, checkmate will appear on the board, but black will be the one checkmating white. So knight to c7 doesn't work, and what does? We've seen familiar. I mean, we've seen the same idea, the same move, but with flanks mirrored. I mean, on the other flank of the chessboard, we've already discussed. Yes, we already discussed this combination. Well, I mean, okay, we say, yeah, it's so easy, queen to b8, but imagine playing and realizing that you need to get with your queen under 2 attack, just like this, boom. Well, the rook is protecting the square, the king is protecting, but it's not enough, because after a rook takes b8, smothered checkmate will come. And if the king takes on b8, unfortunately the back rank is too weak, so white is forcing the rook to leave the 8th rank, thus leaving the rook on f8 unprotected, and here comes the checkmate. Yeah, easy, huh? Easy. I wish I could notice this queen b8 move in a practical game. It's like this without someone telling me about this possibility. Trust me, it's not that easy. It's illogical to look for this queen b8 under 2 attacks. But anyway, remember about checks. You need to check all the possibilities to give a check. And we go further. This one is already too difficult to understand what's going on, so I'll just going to show you the main line. It's possible to win. There are several ways for white to win, so that's what makes the study imperfect. But that's the main line. The shortest way to checkmate is knight to f7 and then rook c8. And the idea behind this move is to force the rook to c8, and then if the king goes to h8 and checkmate, white checkmates like this. Well, if queen takes on, if the queen goes to f7, that's again. If f1 queen, then white checkmates like this. And if the queen takes on c8, then rook d8, check. That's a beautiful position. I should have probably started with this one. Rook d8. Again, the move under 2 attack, and after, well, if the queen takes on d8, then white checkmates like this. If the rook is taken, then here comes already known to us checkmating pattern with smothered checkmate. And the last one, the last study that I've really enjoyed, it's quite an unusual study. I will explain a little bit later why, by Ernest Pagasyan. White plays and wins, and well, I will not well, of course you will, propose c7. What other way for white to win here? And the only thing that makes this puzzle unique, it's unique, that black actually can castle, and they do castle here, and that is quite unexpected when you're solving an endgame study, when there are so few pieces on the chessboard, and sometimes you tend to forget that castle is a possibility. But yes, there is a rule when solving chess studies, and if if it's theoretically possible, you should consider castling as a possible move. And well, okay, and how to continue now with white? How to win? Yes, exactly. Budapest Gambit, exactly. Knight to c6, a very strong move. Suddenly, white creates this idea to cover the 8th rank, and unfortunately for black, there is nothing they can do. If they transfer the rook to another side of the board, then knight b8 will come, same idea, and c8 queen. If the rook tries to win the pawn, then knight e7, and white is just in time to checkmate black. Very beautiful checkmate. And if the king goes to f6, queen to f4. So what else to do? Well, black should try to promote the pawn, but here comes a very familiar already to us checkmating pattern. Smothered checkmate. Yes, queen to c4, knight to f7, rook takes f7 doesn't work because the back rank is too weak, and if king goes to g8, check and checkmate. And here white wins the game. Well, that's it. That's what I wanted to discuss today with you. That's it for episode 8. I hope that you enjoyed it. Yes, well, Chess Improver, you never knew I had a Twitch channel. Now you know, and I'll be very happy to see you on my streams, because I do stream quite often. Actually, I try to stream every day, and well, I have streams in Russian, both in Russian and in English. To find out about my scheduling time in English, I do suggest you to join my Discord server. I'm trying to publish over there. I'm trying to publish my schedule for the coming week, and actually, next week there's going to be many interesting events, interesting streams that I am looking forward to. For example, a very special match, hand and brain match. Just a second, I will try to show you the preview of this match. Of course, I'm not able to find it when I want to. I haven't prepared it, but I will. Okay, here we go. I will use this opportunity to advertise a little bit this match, because I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it. It's a match with 3 other very strong chess players and my friends. A hand and brain super match. It's going to be streamed next Thursday at 5 p.m. Central European Time. So make sure to follow all of us. Well, 3 of us have Twitch channels. Anna Muzachuk, Elizabeth Putz, and me. And so yeah, we're going to play hand and brain. And that's not the only interesting stream next week that I'm looking forward to. So make sure to join my Discord to know when to expect an English stream. And as I said, yeah, I know different time zones make it difficult. You need to sometimes adjust, and you always can rewatch those streams later on, if you wish to. Okay, guys, and that's it for today. Thank you for your attention. Again, I hope that you enjoyed this Chess Killer Tips podcast episode number 8. As I already mentioned, I'll be back pretty soon with more streams. Tomorrow night is the time for Arena Kings, and then Saturday and Sunday Saturday I'm playing with my subs, and Sunday we are going to play a special thematic tournament on the Greek Gambit, which I discussed last night. So make sure to watch this stream as well on the Greek Gambit. Join my ChessQueen club on chess.com and play in the coming arena on Sunday. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for listening, for watching. Let me see who is streaming now so I can give a rate to this channel from my channel. Let's Chess Live. Okay, I'm going to rate Let's Chess Live. All the best to you guys. Take care and see you soon. Bye bye. Come on. Let's do. He doesn't want to give a rate. He doesn't want to give a rate. I already have a rate in progress. Okay. Okay. Well, I already have a rate in progress. Okay, take care guys. See you. Bye.